Well, a dire warning from the United Nations. The UN says the Syrian attack on rebel-held parts of Idlib could lead to the catastrophe of the century. More than 30,000 people have fled their homes in the northwestern province. Syria and its allies continue a vicious bombardment as they prepare for an all-out assault to reclaim the rebel stronghold, with several people killed in airstrikes over the weekend. The UN is also voicing concern over the use of chemical weapons by the Assad regime, something it has repeatedly been accused of in the past. For more on this, we're joined by Robert Riggs. He's a Middle East expert joining us today from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Hello.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on to talk about this. What do we know about the attacks, I guess, the air bombardments so far in Idlib?
Well, there was reportedly over 1,000 barrel bomb attacks and numerous other missiles fired at specific targets throughout the province and the Hama province, which is a little bit adjacent to it. And you know, it's impossible to really know the any kind of death toll because it's difficult to verify those reports. But one can imagine that in such a densely populated area, there's going to be high casualties if this continues.
And tell me about the threat of chemical weapons, given that they've been used in the past.
Well, it's a real legitimate threat and concern. There has been numerous usages of chemical weapons over the course of this war, and there's no reason to expect that will change. Although there was the threat from the U.S. that if they use them again, there would be severe consequences. But the last time, the consequence amounted to just one missile attack by the Trump administration, kind of a one-off. So it's still a pretty legitimate concern.
And tell me, I mean, this is a densely populated province. Tell me about what options these people would have, given that, you know, even Turkey has closed the border for now.
They don't have many options. You're talking about a region that had 1.5 million people and now has swelled up to 3 million people in the last few years. And the only place they could go inside of Syria is the either Turkish-held cities that used to be held by Kurdish areas, or for a little further to the east, northeast in the Kurdish region. But they can't, as of now, cross into Turkey. And the rest of the region is surrounded by Assad's forces. So they don't have a lot of options other than move wherever the bombs aren't dropping.
And on Syria's behalf, and I guess Russia's as well, then they're, you know, justifying this by saying that they could, quote unquote, win the civil war if this is successful.
Right. Well, in essence, they would win the hot part of the conflict in terms of actual straightforward military battles, but the cost would be so great. I mean, you're talking about a region where the rebels have been digging miles and miles of tunnels, and so they can't win this war just through air power. They would have to go literally door to door and town to town, and that could take months, if not a year, and you're talking about massive casualties, which is why the UN was so concerned about this.
Yes, understood. Robert Riggs, thank you very much.
Thank you.